What's going on, guys? Good morning. Welcome back to Everyday Struggle. I'm the Desker here with DJ Akademiks and STAR. Good morning. What's going on?
What up? Fist bumps for the whole team, man. Yo, I was listening to this guy STAR over here tell me that he's taking what is B12 shots? Like, what does that do? Put me on game, nigga.
You're snitching about injecting drugs? What the fuck?
Bruh, you've said this publicly before. Come on, nigga. This ain't no secret. First of all, you snitch on yourself. You know what I mean?
This is true. I took a B12 shot this morning. I'm charged. Let's go. So if I'm shaking, it's the
You ain't about to die
it's
on
the
us,
bite.
right? You know there ain't no health insurance here. You know what I mean?
I hope I die in the middle of a conversation one day.
Wow.
Word.
Pow.
Well,
Anyway, you look
hopefully not
nice.
with me.
Thank you. By the way,
Hot
does
oil
have
treatment,
health
yes?
insurance with
What
the lifetime
fuck is
contract.
a hot oil
Yes.
treatment, man?
How could you not know? Don't you have a girlfriend? Don't you pay for wraps, doobies, and manis and petties?
Get the fuck out of here. You might be just starting, man.
I never
Speak
in
for
my
yourself.
life paid for a
man.
mani or a fucking petty.
You paying for the
But
hot
your hair
oil
looks
treatments.
nice, nonetheless.
Thank you,
A
guys.
hot oil treatment.
All right, let's
So
get into the show. You don't know any black girls? How have you never heard of a hot oil treatment?
I ain't paying for that. Go
I won't
do
ask
your
you to
thing.
pay for anything.
Go do your thing and come back well done.
Anyway,
Fake tricking, don't believe him.
Anyway, while Star was out here dishing out the cash to his chicks to get hot oil treatments, I was on Instagram yesterday.
Uh-oh.
And I've seen, based on the discussion we had yesterday over Chris Brown,
Okay. Breezy.
I've seen that there was a lot of people who were either triggered or bothered, but they had Jordan Lucas posted something up and saw Snoop Dogg in the comment section, saw Chris Brown in the comment section.
Okay.
I think Chris Brown commented, and by the way, this is a discussion about,
His tweet about going on tour with
Going on tour.
Beyonce,
Right.
Rihanna, Bruno Mars.
so Chris Brown's like, who are they? And Snoop Dogg's like,
Who are they?
And Snoop Dogg said, who the fuck are these cornballs to
I'm the
say
Grim fucking Reaper, my nigga. Don't act like you don't know.
CB ain't worthy, suck dick or die trying, all three of y'all? What's up with the suck dick or die trying shit?
Well, my homie Snoop, a.k.a. Calvin, this makes the second time he has invited me to his penis, or something to do with sucking dick. He put up a post on Instagram a couple of years ago with regards to me. I don't think we're going to play that here, but I guess he's in his feelings.
Yeah. Hey, listen,
Not that I give a fuck, but you know.
Hey, I stand by everything I said about Chris Brown. Which I guess nobody cares to probably watch a whole clip. I don't even know what was edited in the social clip that everyone's talking about.
Yeah, you said that he is talented.
I
but
said he's the
I feel like
most
that was
talented
reflected.
of the four. However, if I'm talking about just in where each of their careers are right now, I'm sorry. I'm still gonna say Rihanna, Bruno,
Okay.
and Beyonce's career is on a different level.
Right,
and
right.
you could blame it on Chris Brown, like the case and all that other shit, like holding his career back. But the facts is the facts, okay? I don't think that is that blasphemous to say, okay? It doesn't reflect on his talent.
Can I respond to Snoop and Chris Brown?
Yeah, go ahead.
Motherfuck both you niggas, straight like that. That's it.
Okay, that was short and sweet to the point.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, into
Fuck
the
outta here.
topics.
Fuck out of here.
All right, so a few days back we talked about Troy Ave's new single, Too Legit to Quit. He speaks about his legal issues with Taxstone in it. Some people have accused him of snitching, or at least that's the feedback he's hearing. He was on The Breakfast Club recently and addressed the feedback. Here's what he had to say.
Are you gonna say nothing, or are you gonna tell your side story?
Oh, no,
Like, how you gonna?
I'm definitely gonna tell. But see, the difference is, I'm not a street person. I don't believe in the street rules. I'm not that type of person anymore. And
And what was your key word? You just say you're not that type of person anymore.
Correct.
And with the street thing, here go the thing about the streets. What everybody need to understand: the streets is a myth. It's not real. It's not in real life. Nowhere in the real world does the streets count. Like, people have street cred.
You want this one first?
I'll let you lead off on this
Really?
one.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I'll say off top.
Come on.
I think Troy Ave is going about this all wrong. Troy Ave is not a likable figure. He's done many things that has gotten him outcasted and pretty much just hated. And I think where he's at with now a legal case, he's trying to also play the court of public opinion. And we spoke about this before. Like, where do you rather to be judged favorably? In the legal court or the court of public opinion? When you're doing interviews and you're kind of dancing around certain things about your case and snitching and blah, 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 which, by the way, it confuses me a little bit because when I listen to his music, I mean, he says way more in his music than he said on an interview.
Right.
So it confuses me
Right.
there.
Right.
I don't know why he's actually having these interviews to speak about those situations. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay. This was hard to watch and to listen to, but I did watch the entire interview. I'm going to disagree with you. I think he is a likable guy. I think that a lot of people, his fans, and beyond the scope of people who support his music, they find him to be likable. Yes, he did a lot of weirdo shit. He was hating on a bunch of different people.
He is one of the most hated.
But he carries himself well, if that means anything. With regards to what he said on The Breakfast Club, my issue is that he's trying to now rationalize things. When you're in a situation, a heated situation, you either make a good choice or a bad choice. He made a bad choice. I don't dislike Troy Ave. I'm not trying to just come at him sideways, but
what bad choice?
What's that?
What bad choice?
The bad choice that got his ass arrested, and the bad choice has now got his ass having to defend himself against accusations. But if I can just finish this point. So he's now making these analogies and cliches. He's trying to steer the narrative. Now, I have no problem with what he's trying to do, but it's what he's saying to the people with regards to he can't talk about things. He's lying. And let me prove to you why. When you are accused of something by way of a criminal case, not a civil case, a criminal case, you have to submit paperwork to the judge and to the opposing side with regards to who's going to take the stand to defend the accusations and the claims of the DA's office. So it's already been predetermined, that he is going to, in fact, take the stand. That's what he avoided yesterday during that interview. He tried to go all the way around and talk about street cred, yada, yada, yada. Now, again, I'm not saying he's wrong for defending himself, but there's always going to be people in the streets, as we say, that look to anybody who takes a stand as being a person not to fuck with, or I think it'll spill over into his career. You might have rappers now that don't want to do duets with him. He's lying. He is taking the stand, and that's what he avoided in the interview yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was about 40-something minutes, and I mean, some of the stuff he did say showed that he has grown. He's matured a little bit. But pretty much he could have cut that whole interview short into about 2 minutes and said, listen, stop asking me if I'm snitching. The nigga who I'm going against, I ain't like him. And if it comes down to him, if it's him or me, nigga, I'm telling. That's all he had to say. You know what I mean? I think
he's not going to say that
he said it on the song.
And direct. Yeah, he did say it in the song, and that's why I said he's lying. He can talk about it. He says in the interview, I can't talk about it, yada, yada, yada. You said in the fucking song, middle finger from the stand. So, again, I think he's trying to rationalize things. Do you know the timeline with regards to him and Taxstone? I don't know how that whole thing popped off. A lot of people try and avoid it in terms of what actually led up to it.
About the rationalization, before we even get to that, right? About his rationalization, I think if there is a point you could kind of hold on to or think about, I think he was almost saying, because he used an analogy with the Breakfast Club, like, hey, if somebody came in here and you guys...
Corny analogies and cliches after the shit goes down.
Okay, but still, is there such a thing as snitching when you're acting in self-defense? Because that's what he's saying. I acted in self-defense. My man got killed. I got shot. I acted in self-defense. I'm not snitching because I acted in self-defense.
I think we're all kind of past that whole snitching thing, whether he is or he isn't. My concern is, as I said when we spoke about this before, will he take the stand? And yes, he will. So that's up to now hip-hop to say whether he's official, whether he's a street nigga, yada, yada, yada.
Would you take a stand?
Hang on a second. I like the fact that he's older now. He's thinking from a different perspective. But in reality, we're talking about a genre or a culture, as you say, that caters to the lowest common denominator. So there are people who are not in the comments showing him support that are saying, I'm not fucking with this nigga no more. And if I can also say, I think that his time as far as being an artist is limited. Once you take that stand, it's a different ball game.
I think also it's very complicated by the fact that, again, as much as you say he's a likable figure, the general perception and reaction that I see when his name comes up on social media, majority negative. And I'm not talking about just his fan base, just in general, right?
Okay.
As opposed to the other guy who was allegedly involved, Taxstone, right? I think people like him. People don't like Troy Ave. So I think this situation gets very polarized that way. I think even how certain media outlets cover it, that angle is also at play. Okay.
I think the jury will find him likable on the stand.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, not if he wears that.
You're saying?
Not if he wears because the first time.
I wonder why you feel that way. And does it depend on the jury, like who's actually selected? Why would they favor him?
Yes, it has a lot to do with how the jury perceived you. I've been involved in a lot of legal stuff. I've never, had to pay anybody.
Is that assuming that they're not following this publicly now? Of course, they're not supposed to technically as a child stars, but you know what I mean.
I just think that the way he talks and smiles, he understands how to use what it is that he has.
So he will charm them in real life.
I think he's a charmer. I think he charmed the shit out of the Breakfast Club. Charmed the shit out of them. He was sitting there and he was well thought out in terms of what he was going to say and what he was not going to say. He danced around the fucking question.
Well, that might be true, but when he showed up to court for one of his hearings, he had a whole mink coat on with a bulletproof vest and a hat that says whip crack and make America.
But that wasn't to talk to the jury. That was for the arraignment.
Okay, as long as he's not on that shit. You go on a stand with that shit, they ain't feeling too bad for you. Okay, but again, I mean, in the interview, I think he tries his best to make sense. That's why you're probably saying he's a charmer. So who knows? If he gets on a stand, I mean, I think anyone who gets on a stand and could showcase himself as a victim, the jury's probably going to side with you a little bit.
Bingo. He's playing the victim. He's playing the victim.
Was he not the victim?
What's that?
Was he not the victim in that situation?
I don't know. I just asked you for the timeline. I do know, objectively speaking.
Well, I could tell.
Hang on. Objectively speaking, Taxstone has said some things that I'm sure will be used against him during this trial. He said things about, what he wants people to do in terms of running down on him. That's going to come back to haunt him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think we just have a loose timeline of what was alleged to happen that night. There's supposedly a bunch of security footage that we've never seen. Troy Ave claims he's seen it. Because he also questioned at one point, he said, why is there footage of me chasing somebody down when there's additional footage of my bodyguard or best friend getting killed, and that never got released.
I'm sitting here with the king of the fucking trolls, and he says there's a loose timeline. I'm looking to you for the timeline.
No, because it's all alleged. Again, it's not.
I know
proven.
We got a nigga named Troy Ave running through a goddamn club discharging a firearm. He's got to explain that.
According to but according to the police, they're in the green room, Irving Plaza, right? I guess they didn't expect to be in the same location, right? Fight ensues because it's on site, right? And somebody pulled out a firearm like, nah, we gonna even the odds, and then
it doesn't matter. He's got to explain it. He is the accused. The DA's office, by way of the prosecution, says, explain this shit. If you don't explain it on the fucking stand, you're going away for a decade.
Okay, let me ask you a question then, right? In that green room, allegedly was like 70 people. So, is it possible that somebody else takes the stand and he doesn't have to take the stand? Because there's other people who allegedly witness this.
He is the accused, again. He has to present to the judge and to the opposing side who's going to defend the accusations. He's the accused.
Okay, so you're talking about in his case, because there's multiple cases. So Tax
I'm
has
just
his
talking
own
about
case.
his case.
Okay, his case. All right. I mean, that would make sense.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, so we know that Big Sean and Jhene have been dating for a while now. She recently did an interview with BBC Radio where she spoke about the beginning of their relationship and sort of mentioned that when they first went out on a date, she was connected to someone else. Of course, people took it out of context and started going crazy, so she did address it in a series of tweets, explaining that she was with someone and they were separating around the time she met Big Sean, and ended by saying, let's try in 2018 to gossip less and talk and listen to each other more. It would do a world of wonders for the entire human race. Do you guys feel like she should even have to respond to this? It's unfortunate you're a public figure, so your relationship becomes public, but where do you draw the line at having to explain yourself?
Yeah. Pardon me for yelling on top of you. Whenever I hear Big Sean, I'm like, oh, come on, man. It's just, again, he bores the shit out of me. This young lady, she's not that young. I think she's in her 30s. She's got a 10-year-old. I say that respectfully. And what she's saying during this interview, she's trying to make it cute And if you ask me, she's a quaint homewrecker. Big Sean was married, so whatever she's saying now about where the relationship, and this is some real gossipy shit. Whatever she's saying now,
I believe he was engaged, not married.
What's that?
Big Sean was engaged, and I think she was engaged.
I could have swore she said Big Sean was married.
I think she said the person she was dating.
No, Big Sean.
No.
He never got married, but he was engaged for a period of time. But
okay.
She was
story,
also engaged, and she found out the person she was engaged to was actually married to like one of his baby mamas.
Okay.
So she left him, and she said she connected with Big Sean. Now, honestly, I really don't give a fuck what she's talking about. Listen, listen. This is 2018. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story, man. And whatever she's trying to clear up, man, it sounded better when we were all saying that Big Sean took that nigga's girl, okay? And it's just what it is, unfortunately.
Sounds like home wrecking shit. I don't know. I can't put that much into it. I'll follow you on this one.
Yeah, I feel bad for the dude she used to be with, and he probably doesn't give a fuck. But I mean, it played out, and I guess this is why she's probably clarifying it. It played out like homie was super committed to her, and as soon as she saw an opportunity to dip, you know what I mean, saw Big Sean, said peace out. You get me? Now obviously she's clearing it up by saying homie had some other situations, so she had to leave him anyway. But I don't know. I really don't give a fuck about this. Truth be told.
Sounds like home wrecking shit on her part. But I like her by default. I think that I like some of her music, you know, not that means shit. What's this whole eating the booties thing with her? Because she was denouncing the questions in the interview with regards to eating the booties.
Bruh, I don't know.
Eating the groceries.
well, I see it on Shade Room, her and Sean, they look like they're having a good old time. All she keep commenting is that's how she be sitting in his face. I don't know. However they get down, man. Yo, they're a cute couple though. That 2088 shit that they do, it's nice. Again, if you're not a Big Sean fan, you wouldn't probably appreciate that.
Don't give a fuck.
Again, I guess because it's a public relationship, people are gonna speculate. She had to clear it up. I'm not knocking it, but truth be told, I'd rather just go with the story that sounded better. Big Sean took that nigga's chick.
I think that story sounds better for you.
And also, you know, I always look at people a little bit weird when they had a girl or a man and we never seen them in public, but as soon as they get their new man or new chick, they all over like social media or all at the basketball games. Like shit. It's the same thing with Nicki and like Meek. You know what I mean? When Nicki was with Safari, like I thought that nigga was a hairstylist. You feel me? And then as soon as she got with Meek, they were like all over the fucking place. You know what I mean? She was claiming that she couldn't stop claiming him. I think it's the same thing I'm seeing with Big Sean and Jhene. They're super in love. I didn't even know she had a fiance before this. You know what I mean? She never claimed that nigga ever. You know what I mean?
Are they engaged or something? Did you say that?
Yeah, they were engaged, and then
Big Sean and
No, Big Sean and Jhene not engaged, but he was engaged to some crazy chick called Naya Rivera.
Gotcha. Okay, that's where the confusion was.
The chick claimed he stole a Rolex. You feel me?
All right, so we got some music from Kanye and Kendrick that might not be so new, but it's new online. Madlib Freestyle 6. So this was probably recorded around the time Kanye was working on Life of Pablo. Remember him saying him and Kendrick had about 40 songs together, but we didn't hear multiple songs. So let's listen to a snippet.
On the federal side, I guess I'm blind, then they moved on the dime. Wanna every nigga do like federal time. That's the only way, my niggas. That's the only way, my niggas. But then to get paid, my niggas. Niggas shooting white people back on the front side. That's the reason why we pay, my nigga. But once on the time, we ain't pay, my nigga.
All right, so it's probably an incomplete song from a couple years back. We have heard them together
dated.
before.
Sounds super dated. Of course, it's a big deal when you have Kendrick and Kanye on a track. I want to hear new music from Kanye. I think everybody wants to hear new music from Kanye. Mm-hmm. But this track doesn't really do anything for me. It's just some old unreleased shit that came out, which I guess it makes me think that how much were they working on, and is there other songs that might come out later on some official shit? But just hearing Kanye rap on, I was like, this sounds super dated. Okay, so that's just about it.
I like Kanye West. I think he's a total nut job, and I think that his.
That's why you like him?
That's why I like him. Yeah, he's a natural, and I think he's naturally talented. I think he can go away, do some crazy shit as he does, and then come back and get right into the flow of things. Some people go away, they lose their drive, they lose their creative juices. I think, again, he's just naturally out there as far as producing and being an artist on the front lines. I can't say I'm really, some super enthusiast when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, but I am looking forward to Kanye West returning. He's been away somewhere in the mountains or some fucking way working on music.
Yeah, which means it's probably going to be great.
He's finding himself. He's going to come out dissing the shit out of everybody, and I think that we all look forward to that.
I mean, everybody like a bunch of like white pop stars.
Every
They don't really want no
motherfucking
smoke with no rappers. Let's be honest.
What?
Which rappers is Kanye getting at like
Who's
that?
Kanye scared of?
Kanye West has been biting the hand that fed him, Jay-Z, so I don't know what you
That's
think.
on some Big Brother shit. Like, let's be clear.
It's
Kanye
some
West
snake
definitely
shit,
knows.
and a lot of people
He
appreciate
definitely
the
knows
snake
who to
shit.
call out, right? When
So who do you think's getting it this time?
nobody that you would expect. I think it's just the Taylor Swift shit probably still going on. But let's stop acting like Kanye be calling out people who about it in rap. No, never. Like we could even go back to Kanye and Beanie Siegel. He ain't want no smoke. You get me? So he definitely knows who to pick on. It's kind of like Eminem. Eminem, he ain't calling out. Yeah. So anyway, of course, I'm expecting a lot of great music from Kanye. I don't know, man. If I just had to judge the track, man, I don't know. Maybe I just had a bullshit ass weekend, man. This shit was just too.
No, but it does sound like it's an unfinished track. Yeah,
This
if
shit
it
was
was
a little bit too
complete.
conscious to me, bro.
Now, say what you said in the back. Come on,
Nah,
man.
it was too conscious
Come
to me,
on.
man.
You're tired of Kendrick and that conscious shit. Come on, man, say it.
When I heard this shit, I was like, damn, Kendrick, could you give us a little thought twerking anthem,
Yes.
man? Like, god damn it, man. For the last 2 years, man, Kendrick been. I can't really criticize.
Come on with the
him.
hate.
Nah, I'm not hating on him because, you know what I mean? He's doing it for a good cause. Just give us a little twerk anthem once in a while. You feel me?
I'm looking forward to Kanye West, man.
Yeah, stay tuned. I feel like he's going to have good music coming. And hopefully Kendrick is on this album that he's working on. All right, so let's talk about Bangladesh. You guys remember him. He produced A Milli and 6 Foot, 7 Foot for Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
So he was signed with Cash Money a few years back. Then he said that Lil Wayne wouldn't pay him. So that Birdman wouldn't pay him, my apologies. So he stopped working with them. So in an interview with Wrap Up, he talks about it again, saying, you know, why someone like him who did joints like A Milli and 6 Foot, 7 Foot, why do they only have these 2 tracks? Why doesn't he have more songs with Nicki Minaj? And he's like, it's not that the beats, it's not any creative problem, essentially saying that it's a money issue. And we've heard this many times before.
I'm going to say it again, as I said yesterday. I will always respect a pimp over a disgruntled hoe. This guy, yes, he's produced some fucking bangers, possibly even classics. We'll know in a couple of years. But let's put some.
A Milli's a classic.
What's that?
A Milli's a classic.
Okay, I don't disagree with you, but let's put some respect on Birdman's motherfucking name. A lot of these guys who come up, producers, young guys, they're not business educated, and somebody like a Birdman puts him on, buys him a slave chain, a pair of fucking kicks, gets him a couple of bitches, and leases, not purchase, leases them a car, puts you on. Am I supposed to help you with understand publishing, ASCAP, BMI, clearance forms, and all this other shit? No. So he's now thinking about what he did, and he's disgruntled.
So this is all on him and bad paperwork. Although the story has come up multiple times.
Yeah.
I don't know if
On
he's
his
this.
label.
I mean, I don't know if he's like feeling salty. Of course, he's suing for what he's owed. But I actually have I have a lot of respect for him because a lot of people, even though most of these producer niggas getting jerked.
Yeah.
Now he gave some big hits to Wayne and Nicki to step away from that to say, you know what? I ain't get paid from that, so I'm good. To turn down working with 2 of the biggest artists in rap just off some money shit that you know lawyers are gonna figure out at some point or the other. I think that shows integrity on his part to say, listen, if I can't trust you on the business side, fuck them tracks. I ain't trying to produce nothing else for you. I think that shows his integrity because I think most of these other producers, they would have produced like 90 more songs and then just get the lawyer game later on trying to get the money because of course you want that look. You want another A Milli. You want another 6 Foot, 7 Foot. You want these tracks. Okay. I give him a lot of respect for stepping away.
How many producers are you jerking on your upcoming project?
Actually, I ain't jerking producers. I'm not into that.
Are you giving them publishing?
They get whatever, yeah. Of course, my writer's getting publishing. Yeah, nigga.
Are you giving them some type of mechanical residual?
Listen, my label gonna handle all that.
That was the label.
Bro, I'm the creative. What you want me to do? Handle everything, motherfucker?
Are you saying now here on this show that you're gonna give the producers what's owed on your upcoming project?
No, of course.
You're gonna make sure that they get publishing and other things.
No, of course, because
points and other things like that.
Yeah, because I'm not putting out this project to really make money from it. I'm putting out this shit just to really outsell Vic Mensa. That's it.
You're not paying anybody for a track, just a flat fee.
What do you mean?
You got some free beats too, right?
I mean, yeah, I
Some
do
homie
got some free
discounts?
beats.
You get some free beats.
No.
So if the shit pops off, are you gonna go back and say, hey, you know what? I made
everybody will be-
700,000 off this shit. I'm gonna give you 50K, give you 80K.
No, everybody will be properly credited. Like, and they should lawyer up too once we get to that part. Like, what are you talking about? This is business, nigga. but no, I'm into fairly compensating.
Now he's
people
talking about
because
niggas should lawyer up. I'm listening. Come on.
Yeah, they should lawyer up. You feel me? Because shit, the label I'm gonna deal with, they gonna be lawyered up. So if you ain't lawyered up, that's your fault, nigga. You feel me? Don't text my phone. I might hit you with the Birdman hand rub and delete your number.
All right. Well.
Now he's riding with Birdman.
So speaking of Birdman, so look, we don't hear too much from his perspective. He does interviews every once in a while, but he is about to release a new documentary with Apple Music about the rise of Cash Money. And it's interesting because it's actually going to be narrated by him in addition to featuring interviews.
Yeah.
Let's look at a snippet.
Being in jail, I learned a lot. So when I do get on the block, be smarter, wiser, do it my way.
He wasn't named until he came out the hospital.
But ain't nobody call him Brian because everybody know him as Baby.
Just call me Money, Don P. Crystal, #1 stunner, CMR for life.
Say, oh, Mr. Jhene shot.
My mom died.
All right, so what do you guys think about the timing of this coming up soon? And are you excited? Do you feel like you're going to see a different side of Birdman that you haven't?
Just even watching this trailer, it feels very bittersweet. And you see the little montages of all the artists that's contributed to Cash Money. And you see the big, it's kind of like the McDonald's like little slogan, like a billion customers served or whatever. They say a billion records sold. And you know, so many artists has came through the Cash Money machine, contributed to that. And pretty much most of them have the same story saying we ain't really reap the benefits from that. Birdman got it. So I mean, that's a little sad just even watching the preview. However, speaking of people who were involved in like making this, they say we will see a different side of Birdman, and they say a lot of misconceptions that publicly where people are blaming Birdman for not paying people or Birdman didn't pay Wayne or whatever. They feel like the truth will be put out there to show that Birdman isn't that evil, maniacal guy who just tries to rip off artists. And actually sometimes because he's a face and he's a name that we could easily blame, he gets the blame as opposed to say Universal, right? Or these other companies, which they're all doing business together, right? So
the timing of this is not just to tell the story of the rise of Cash Money, but to address all of those things, because he has been taking a lot of criticism.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, I heard that you'll hear or see that he just misunderstood. So this is kind of like a clearing up type of stuff, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of people, like it was heavily reported that, Universal just gave him the money. So if Wayne didn't get the money, he got it. Some people say, no, that's not the case. The money's in an escrow account. And yeah, that's where the money is, but it's Universal who put it there. They didn't just directly give it. So, I mean, hopefully it will give us a new perspective of Birdman. Every time we see him do an interview, he seems very defensive, which makes him seem more guilty. He doesn't speak much. And when his artists are complaining, we're seeing lawsuits fly, it's easily just to say, this guy's fucking up and he's doing something wrong. Also, we see some of his peers going in on him. We've seen Rick Ross, who's another executive, saying, I'll never do my artists like how you did your guys. And even Wayne has spoke up. So I'll definitely check it out.
Star, what do you
I
think?
can appreciate Birdman trying to take control of his narrative and his business dealings over the years. He's done some incredible things by way of, not just helping people eat, but by also setting some landmark business moves. I hope that he gives Wendy Day her proper light from the, is it the Rap Coalition? I forget, Wendy, pardon me. But you have to take control. Yet you have to show certain things about what it took to get from point A to point B. There's a stigma with regards to men of color, not being smart enough in the music industry, just getting lucky, but not necessarily making the right decisions. He's a smart guy. You don't last the test of time by just being lucky and just falling into shit. Yes, there's a lot of disgruntled people by way of, the Cash Money YMCMB movement, but at the same time, it's the whole game itself is you have to learn as you go. Nothing's guaranteed. It's a cutthroat, backstabbing industry. I applaud him.
All right. Coming soon. We'll see. Where do you guys, I guess, how in depth would you want him to go? I think a lot of times if you have high expectations for it and you feel like they gloss over some of the issues or some of the questions you have as fans, people will be disappointed.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get super in depth into that. I think it's really going to be an overall about his life, but also kind of just how he does business, which might give us a different perspective, right? It's really a story documented, and I think he's narrating his own story.
He is.
It's narrating his whole come up, his rise to fame, his rise as a CEO and an executive in the music business. So I don't think he's gonna say, "Oh, I know the thing y'all want to know is why Wayne didn't get paid his $51 million. Let me break down the contracts and let me tell you that I gave him like 4 Bugattis and I subtracted it." No, he's not gonna do all that. I think he's just gonna give his perspective, and it might even be vague because when he speaks, it's usually vague, right? Like he's been saying for the longest, Lil Wayne could drop Carter 5 when he wants to drop it. And then Wayne is like super mad on stage saying fuck him.
Maybe Carter 5 comes right after the doc. Part of the rollout plan.
I don't know about that.
I hear Lil Wayne back on good terms. I can't follow that. Sometimes it goes left and it goes right,
I think we'll
I
never
hear they
know.
have a weird relationship where you might see Wayne say something publicly and then apparently they are around each other. They record in studios that's like adjacent to the other's studio.
Yeah.
So
is YMCMB still under Cash Money or
Yeah, still. I mean, they're filing, but this is the most confusing thing of it all. Like, they've been filing, like, motions and lawsuits.
Injunctions.
They've been doing that for years, and I feel like, I don't know what type of lawyers Birdman got, but nothing happens. Like, so you even see Wayne had filed, like, an emergency petition to the court to say, hey, listen, suspend this contract that until we figure this out, I could be a free agent, possibly sign to Rock Nation, or somewhere else release music, and we hear nothing.
Yeah. I don't want to just deem him to be the bad guy. Juvenile came on my show years ago, and Juvenile, he was looking to just fight Birdman, and that's how he wanted to work shit out. But he did win a lawsuit against
But then they also made
Birdman.
up and he went back to Cash Money.
Well,
actually,
he won the lawsuit. I think it was like close to $6 million. So after you win the money, let's be friends again. You know, you're gonna fucking pay me, so yeah, let's be cool now.
Well, I mean, think about Turk. Turk sued him, and reportedly they came to a settlement, and then he signed back, which that confused me. Again, I understand like that's like home base. It kind of raised you in the music game, but if you felt you got jerked and you had to take the person to court to get the money you got jerked, why would you then get back in business with that person right after? Again, clearly they know something that we don't, or clearly they don't give a fuck about what we think is important to give a fuck about.
I also think that there's a lot of misunderstandings. Again, if you're not college educated in terms of business and you just come off the streets into the music industry, there's a lot of things that you have to learn as you go, and there's deals that you're gonna sign that you don't fully comprehend. You're gonna run into people who say, talk to my lawyer, right, as you just did, and it's gonna become kind of sticky at times. And then you have people who will settle lawsuits, not because they're wrong, but just because, you know what, here, you're fucking stressing me too much, it's not worth it, we were both wrong, here's X amount of dollars, let's move the fuck on.
Hey, just in a wild theory type of shit, this is how I always thought the Birdman and Wayne thing probably did play out. The Cash Money lifestyle is real over the top. All that family shit and, yo, here's a Bugatti, here's 10 cars, and
Kissing on
here's
the
this. I think that Birdman was expensing all that through these niggas' record deals. Like, so all
Could've
that money you think you're grossing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Bugatti coming off. Remember, you flew 29 niggas out to Miami.
Yeah.
We're minusing that. So you're thinking you probably had like an independent auditor look at the shit, right? Without seeing even the expenses, say, oh, you should have got 51 million. Birdman looking at his books like, 51 million? The Bugatti costs $4 million.
Exactly,
So I think that's what it is. And again, I could be completely wrong, but I've always looked at their lifestyle and said, who the fuck is paying for that? Then you realize that's how record labels work.
I think you're on the right track. I think you're on the right track. And, you know, again, it's not that, you know, robbing people or taking advantage of people who are not necessarily business-minded. Not that that's a good thing. But you have to, if you're trying to get into the business, try and get an understanding that everybody from the fucking Beatles to the Jackson 5 to Elvis Presley, everybody got jerked at some point. You got to bring some ass to get some ass.
I'm not sure if you saw the Bad Boy doc, the Apple one,
yes.
but it was interesting to see people in that camp who've fallen out over the years. There were some reunions and some, you know, emotional conversations. Curious if that will happen in this.
At one point, the Locks was like, man, I'll throw a refrigerator off this fucking joint if I don't get it. But you can understand, and they've moved past that now. Right. You know what I mean? Like, yo, Shawty suits back lit, you feel me? But at one point, that was an epic moment. I could hear it in Jada's voice.
After you run through the money and the tax man is saying, we need that goddamn scroller, sometimes you will then go back to the label and say, hey, you know, never mind all that sucker shit I said. Let's see if we can work shit out. Go back on tour so I can pay off this fucking mortgage. I can put my kids through college and we can just get past the dumb shit.
Life comes at you fast. All right, we got one more. So yesterday, BET rolled out the nominees for their social awards, random categories, including Best Tea, Social Hustle, and Clapback of the Year. Snoop Dogg felt like he should have gotten at least one of these, and he didn't. So here's what he had to say.
How the fuck y'all gonna have a BET Social Awards, nigga, and I'm not invited and not in no categories? What the fuck is going on, nigga? I'm the king of social media, nigga. When it comes to this Instagram shit, everybody love my page. I keep you laughing, I keep you thinking, keep good music. Why the fuck I ain't on the BET Social Awards? What's happening? Do I need to turn into that nigga again? Go Kanye on y'all? Go snatch me an award from a motherfucker? BT, get it together. I ain't tripping. Y'all tripping.
Hey, even though Snoop said, like in the beginning when we talked about it, he said, suck a dick or die trying. I don't know if I was able to. This nigga Snoop right. Snoop right. Let me listen, I got nominated for the BET Social Awards. I knew the fucking fix was in. That shit rigged, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Come on, Poppy Color.
I seen, when I looked through everybody who got nominated and they had like rounds or whatever, like everybody worked for Viacom that made the fucking finale list. And I said, man, if this ain't like a roundabout way of patting yourself on the back, like, come on, man. Again, it's an award show. And of course, I do like the concept of the award show. Acknowledging social media because it's important in everything, TV, film, music. So I do think the concept of the awards is good, but you got to realize it's politics with everything. They're not thinking about Snoop like that. They're just trying to get the new kids who be on Instagram like super popping. The DC Young Flies, Fat Boy.
He's hosted though at least the hip hop awards, so he's affiliated.
Exactly.
So maybe that's another reason why he's feeling away about it.
And also they're probably looking at Snoop like, damn nigga, how many lanes do you want to motherfucking have, nigga? Like you got this lane, you got that lane. Like leave it. Fat Boy SSE get a goddamn award. You feel me?
I can be objective here, even though, you know, he gets at me and I get at him, and rightfully so. He does a lot. He's got about 8 or 9 fucking personalities. He's got Snoop Lions, Snoop D-O-double-G. He's got Todd and a whole bunch of other bozo shit.
That GGN shit is popping though.
Yeah. He's absolutely right. He should get some type of fucking award. In fact, they should probably even name the award after him. I'm being real. He does a lot on motherfucking Instagram. I think that he has paved the way for a lot of things that BET is now, you know, biting off of. And as you said, he hosts award shows for them.
Yeah, hip-hop
he
awards.
gets up there, he hoops and hollers for BET. In fact, he brought a lot of battle rappers through BET. He brought the whole battle rap, you know, genre through BET. And what's the other stuff he did? I'm forgetting. He did something else. He's done a lot for BET. How they've overlooked him or snubbed him? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
well, just looking at most of the nominees, like it felt like they were just trying to look at digital creators who started digitally and their whole career is just on those platforms, whether it be Instagram or Twitter. Snoop is such a big brand. Anything he does is going to be super viral. Of course, he's very influential, but I think they were trying to stop short of, let's not throw in the rappers or the moguls, right?
Makes
who
sense.
also do that, because we're just rewarding the same people for just doing different things.
Right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There's two lanes. You have content creators and social engineers. Just because you create a lot of content doesn't mean that you necessarily influence people. He's influential. He can steer the course of a narrative by saying something to the point where it affects people. He was taking a shit on McGregor with regards to fighting Floyd Mayweather. Now you got some guy from the MMA, I forget his name, talking about he wants to punch Snoop, or he might punch Snoop in the face when he sees him. So yeah, BET's wrong. I think that they should have him in the category.
And again, even though I said the shit is rigged, but every award show is rigged, I do think next year it will be better. I mean, they only had a handful of categories. Again, think about what you just said in terms of social engineering, being able to steer the narrative and influence people. That's a category right there. And they only had a handful this time around. As they grow, I would imagine they would expand those, that everyone could get their proper nominations or awards.
All right.
I still say fuck you, Snoop, and come on the show if you find the time.
All right, fair enough. And maybe Ak gets his nomination. You and Snoop next year.
Suck
All
this
will
shit.
be well. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.